Hello Internet! My name's Eric, and welcome to Sketchy Antics Let's Draw, the show where I vlog up in this corner while I draw stuff down there that I did already. Super complicated. Won't get involved in it right now. If you want to see all the details about what's going on right this second, go watch the first episode, which is actually going to be airing after this one, so any comments or anything that you've left in the first episode, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen them yet. But any tweaks or comments or suggestions or questions that you guys had in the last video, I will be sure to answer in the next video. And same with this one. There's going to be a weird one gap. Maybe I'll fix that at some point. But anyways, for the time being, we are hanging out today, and we are watching me draw a shoe. Believe it or not, that's what that is. So I want to take care of a couple things today that I mentioned I was going to take care of last time in the last episode when we talked for the first time. First of all, how you guys doing? Having some good days? It's good. It's important. Second of all, I want to tell you today a little bit more about how Sketchy Antics got started. And if you don't know, I run a webcomic called sketchyantics.com. It's called Sketchy Antics. It's at sketchyantics.com. Link in the description. That's all you really need to know. That's it. It's a fun little webcomic about me and the people in my life, and told through characters. The little cute little guys don't have mouths or noses, because that's the way they were born. Just how it is. But a lot of people ask me how Sketchy Antics got started, and I kind of wanted to cover that today, because there are kind of a lot of things behind the scenes that happened. What a lot of people don't know is that I've actually been doing comics now for, God, way too long to be not as good as I should be. I've been doing it like on and off for about 7 years now, which is kind of weird to think about. But I mean, like, I started out like super amateur, like most people do, and this is really like from the heart home story right here, because if you are an aspiring cartoonist or someone who wants to draw comics or whatever, illustrator, pretty much anything, I'm a good taking a lesson from me guy, because I started real bad. I'm gonna post probably some of the stuff that I did when I was much younger at some point, but we'll get to that later. Right now, I want to tell you about how Sketchy Antics started. So 7 years ago I started doing comics, and I did 2 comics before Sketchy Antics. One was called TAFAC, or TAFAC, and I think it stood for the Amazingly Fantastic Adventurers Club. Ooh, I can't believe I remembered that. And that was kind of an offshoot, kind of sci-fi comic. It had the story, and it really wasn't something that I was like really invested into. I also did a comic called Fast Forward, which was based on half a movie script me and my friend wrote in college. If you've been in college or go to college or spend any time near a college, it's a great place to get stuff half accomplished. But yeah, it was fun, so I decided to do a comic based off the characters, like, after the movie. Anyways. And that was great. I had a lot of fun with it, but our website got hacked about 6 months into the project, and even though I had a pretty good following there, we lost a lot of people, and we had to get a new website. And that was sad, but it did lead me to kind of rethink what I wanted to do with comics, and just the whole thing in general. And that led me to making kind of like an archived website where I just threw all my junk on a website, and that's still up somewhere. You can find that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can probably find a link for it somewhere, but there is just an archive site it's broken as heck, with random crap that I've done over the years in it. And then I realized while archiving, I was like, I don't want to just archive my stuff. I want to do something. And what could I do a comic about that I could not possibly get bored of it anytime soon? So in walked this comic, which was about me, because you can't get more egotistical than that. So we started this up, and I say we because at the time my friend Paul, who's in a lot of the comics, both old and new. He used to be much closer with Sketchy Antics. In fact, fun fact, Paul came up with the name Sketchy Antics during a brainstorming session, and when he pitched the idea Sketchy Antics for the name of the comic, I hated it. We were trying to come up with, like, sketchy, it's a good drawing pun type thing. And we're like, okay, well, what kind of thing could we do with sketchy? Because the biggest thing for us at the time was when we created websites, we wanted to make sure that the story or the name of whatever we were doing, we could get that URL for. It was just important to us, and that's why we ended up with sketchyantics.com, because Sketchy Antics was available. And Paul pitched it, and I was like, I like the sketchy, but antics, it doesn't seem like a pretty normal word. And about 3 minutes in and finding out that the URL was available, we're like, you know what, sold, totally gonna get that. So that's how Sketchy Antics started. The characters themselves actually came around because I started doing doodles just on a whim a while back, and I started posting them online, mostly on Facebook, and a bunch of my friends liked this kind of style that I was doing, and this whole style. And they thought that was really cool and everything, and I did like a couple friends, and more friends asked for them, and it was like awesome. And I ended up doing something like, I don't know, like 25 different sketches of 25 different people, and I think that's still on Facebook somewhere as well. Maybe I'll put it on it was my old Facebook, so on my current Facebook. But yeah, so then I was like, this is kind of a style that I like doing, and Sketchy Antics, and let's make this a thing. So we started up, and the first, it's like 115 comics, which are still on the website. If you go to the extras tab at sketchyantics.com, you'll find Tafac, you'll find Fast Forward, you'll find the first 115, and the first 115 were decent. Like, I like some of the jokes in the first 115. I might even go back at some point and redraw the first 115. But I noticed that it wasn't really like the look I was going for, and then we started going into color. And at the time, it was a big, like, I don't know, I kind of like this black and white style we were doing, and it's kind of grayscale-y, whatever. And we switched over, and I instantly loved it. I was like, this is the way Sketchy Antics is supposed to be. So about a year into that, because Sketchy Antics now has been going for just shy of 3 years. It'll be 3 years in November. And that's 3 years since the start of the comic, when we bought the URL and said, let's do this. Because that was November 2013. In January 2014, we actually launched the website and decided to post everything that I had drawn up to that point. And then somewhere in August, I think we switched over, or maybe a little later, maybe midsummer. August is late. So never mind. Sometime in August, we just switched over to doing the color. And now, if you go to the site, the color comics are the only ones that are on the main thing. Like I said, if you go to extras, you can still check them all out. But that's really how Sketchy Antics got rolling. And from there, I had a publicist. We actually hired a publicist. You don't need to do that if you're gonna. There's no reason to do that. We don't know. I got really zealous. I don't know what it was. But we got my old publicist, Caitlin, who was awesome. Friend of mine, Dylan, who's actually, that's his feet right there. Right now, that's Dylan's feet. But Caitlin and Dylan are going out still. And Caitlin was great, but she had other work-related stuff, and it kind of got jumbled up, and eventually she moved on to something else, which was fine, because me and Paul were doing good, and like I said, there was really no need for a publicist at that point. But we missed it, because it was nice having another person to work on stuff with, and Paul was doing a lot of the website management stuff at the time, and Caitlin was doing a lot of the social media stuff. So then me and Paul decided that we needed a new publicist. We ended up getting Jenny, who is still the publicist today, and she is amazing. She does a lot of social media posts. She pretty much, if you see the comic somewhere on the web, it's chances are that she's the one that got it there. So, so she's awesome, and she's been with us for, oh god, almost 2 years now. At least, is it almost 2 years? Maybe a year and a half at least. But she's awesome, and it's kind of history from there. Paul eventually decided that the comic or the website stuff was a little bit too much for his schedule, and that was cool. And he still kicks around, and we still work at the same place, and we're still friends. And he still appears in pretty much, I don't know, like 60% of the comics. Maybe not that much, but quite a bit of the comics. Then I started dating Rachel this past, actually almost exactly a year as of like 5 days ago. And she's been in the comic a lot too. So that's really what brought Sketchy Antics together. And besides that, I would say Sketchy Antics wouldn't be what it is today without my friends. My family and my friends. I mean, whether it's so cliche to say, but it's so true. My friends pushed me to draw more and more things, and my family thought it was really cool what I was doing and everything. And then I met a lot of webcomic friends, which I still have a lot of webcomic friends today, and I'm making more and more and more. And if you draw a webcomic, send me a friend thing somewhere. Twitter's good. Facebook works too, and you can email me. Pretty much all that. But yeah, I'd love to see your stuff. And if you're an amateur, I'd love to see your stuff. If you draw at all, send it to me. I'd love to see people's stuff, and I love talking to people. So don't be shy. Hit me up sometime. We'll chat. It'll be great. But yeah, so my webcomic friends, my regular friends, my family kind of pushed me and drove me into doing the comic and keep it going. And obviously Sketchy Antics has changed styles a little bit here and there, tweaks. I got the tablet, which I don't have in my hands right now. It's a Surface Pro 4. It's really awesome, and actually my friend, actually a bunch of people pushed me to do it, but my friend Shane from beefpaper.com, awesome comic, go check it out. But he was talking to me on Twitter one day, and he's like, you need to switch over. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I had been thinking about it, and he said, you should do it. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's another person. And at that point, I was like on that teetering edge. And I mean, I just point him out, but there's got to be at least, I don't know, 20 people that do webcomics that told me to get the tablet. And I think Shane was just like that teetering point, but go check out his stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so I decided to get the tablet, and I'm allowed to do this kind of stuff here, which is super awesome because you can see me draw. And I should point out that this comic is about a hiking trip that me and my friend Dylan went on a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now, up to New Hampshire. And he is slightly more athletic than I, so that shows in the comic, and I think in real life too. But hey, you know what? At least I got out there. We made it. We mounted the mountains. We did that. It's pretty great. And I'm at the end now. This is the end of the comic. Isn't it awesome? That's the point that I decided to end it for this stream. I really need to come up with a better way here of figuring out how close I am to the end, so I can start wrapping up these vlogs. But you know what, I'm just gonna leave that there because I want to talk to you guys for a couple more seconds here. So yeah, that's how the comic came today, and that's how we get stuff like this, which what you're looking at right now is just the blues and the basic inks. In the future, and I talked about this in stream a little bit, if you don't know about the streams, link in the description, happens every Monday, 8 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And you can come and check out the actual stream. They're about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and it's pretty cool. Get to chat, hang out, talk to me while I blabble and listen to music. Awesome. Oh, I also got this new shirt. We went to a convention this past weekend, and the Tea Turtle, I think it is, Turtle Tea, whatever, makes awesome shirts. So I got my little panda with a pew 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 pew. Alright. Well, that's all I really had to say. I appreciate you coming out and checking out this vlog and maybe coming to the streams and going to the website, because awesome comics and stuff. There'll be a lot more of these. Again, if there's anything you want me to talk about, if you want me to just talk about the comic, I'm pretty sure next time I think I'm just going to go through my drawing process so I can talk about the comic a little bit more. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see, any questions you have, anything, and I will try to do it in these little vlogs. Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you all next time, next Wednesday. Be awesome, stay awesome, you are awesome, I love you all. Okay, bye! Ah!